llame o fue quien llame.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
Well, welcome to the show, fellas. Let me get the chat up on the screen for us there. 1 second. Sorry about that. Chat box, come on now. Where are you at? I'll show you my... Shh. Let's be patient. Let's chill. Let's chill the fuck out. Where'd it go? Where's the chat box, baby? Yep, there we go. Well, what's up? What do you mean no profanity today? I can't help you with that, Addy Pie. There's no way. There's no way that's going to happen. How's the audio, you guys? Can you hear me fine? Let me know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Jaffe Talks Games for the morning of the 25th or the 24th of the 25th year. It doesn't matter, of the year 2000. Oh, Lord, it's good to see everybody. Here we are rolling into the Friday. We got a busy week ahead of us, but it's going to be fun. Lots of games to play this weekend. Lots of games to discuss this morning. I do want to let you know a couple of things right out the gate before we get started this morning, though. Coming up at 2 o'clock today on this very stream, me and Alyssa Mercante, and I'm sorry her picture's so blurry there. It was from the other night, and that's the best I could get off the internet, but I liked it because it was from the most recent when she was at the New York Game Awards. She's a very controversial figure, but we're going to be diving into a bunch of stuff. She'll be taking your calls, and I'm looking forward to talking to her. People get mad at me a lot because, you know, today's generation seems to be obsessed with the idea that you should only talk to people who already agree with you. And I don't know if I'm going to agree with her on everything or anything or somewhere in between. Probably somewhere in between. I've heard a lot of takes on her, good and bad. People I respect like her, and people I respect don't like her. But I don't know her, and I'm looking forward to getting to know her, and I hope you'll tune in for that. She used to be a senior editor at Kotaku. She's writing for Rolling Stone now. She put out a really good article yesterday about Assassin's Creed Shadows. She went and got about, I don't know how many, 4 to 6 hours hands-on with the dev team. She wrote a really interesting, nice piece about it, both in terms of the controversy, but also the gameplay. She's got her bona fide. She's clearly a gamer. She knows what she's talking about, even though you may disagree with everything she says. So tune into that. Should be a lot of fun coming up at 2 o'clock today. And, no, Rob, God, I hope I said Alyssa Mercante. Rob says Alyssa Milano. God, I hope I didn't say Alyssa Milano. It's early here in San Diego, and the whole state's on fire. You got to give me a break. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you later on today with that. But today, for the morning show, we got morning show stuff to do. But first, let me go to the chat and see how you're doing. Of course, if you want to call into the stream later on, you can. Put yourself in the Discord, and I will bring you in. Later on in this show, we are going to be talking about a thread I saw on NeoGAF that basically was titled something along the lines, what a useless group of words I just strung together, that basically was titled something along the line. It doesn't... The gist of it was, hey, if you were in charge of PlayStation, assuming you think it needs fixing, how would you fix it? And I'm going to give you my plan. And I want to hear your plans, and we'll, that's a good time to call in. Give me your top 3 things you would do to make PlayStation better, especially after that Xbox showcase yesterday. Now, let's be fair. PlayStation's getting all those games. In fact, I think I saw today, I don't know if they've said this about Doom or anything else, but Expedition 33 looks like it's dropping on PlayStation day and date with Game Pass. So at this point, really, if you're Microsoft, the only thing you're missing from that controversy, from that from that video, from that showcase development, whatever the fuck they call it, is an ad. I say it ad nauseum. I'm sorry. I'll keep saying it because it's ridiculous to me that they're not out there banging the drum saying, hey, folks, yeah, we're putting our shit everywhere. But if you want to play it for free, quote free, this is what Game Pass is. People don't know what Game Pass is. I'm sorry, but they don't. How many stories haven't been told about people going, oh, I took an Uber today. I was talking about video games. Guy had no clue what Game Pass is. Oh, my friends, yeah, I mentioned Game Pass, Call of Duty. They're like, what do you mean Call of Duty? What's Game Pass? So, you know. PK says you should switch the show to how to fix Xbox. I'm not a console warrior, fellas. I think anybody can look at PlayStation right now and go, they are having, or at least from the outside looking in, there's a perception, and I think the perception is earned, that they are having some kind of an existential crisis. And that's not a reflection of them as a failure of a company. Are you kidding? That's a reflection of the seismic changes happening in the industry and what players are looking for and how do these guys move forward, in that landscape. Marmados says Game Pass is ass. Come on, man. Can't you articulate? Game Pass is ass since most adults don't have that time for that many games. You have a very valid point, and it's been pretty much the main criticism that has been leveled at Game Pass that I can't really defend against, because usually people will say shit about Game Pass. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. What about this? But that's a very, very good point, which is, can the Netflix model work because games take so long to complete? People don't, you don't binge an entire Final Fantasy in the weekend unless you're like Morgan Redfield or something. And so the question there becomes, and what's exciting about it, if they can hang in there and if they want to do this, is that we talked the other day about the Avowed team saying we've had to make changes to our core game intro, because now that we're on Game Pass, that opening is crucial because there's no sense of sunk cost. You can just play, and in 5 minutes you move on. Like the other day I was playing Eternal Strands, which does come to Game Pass this week or next week. And my first hour in that game was like, eh. And I only went back because I reread the Edge review that gave it an 8 out of 10. And I've since, spent enough time with it that I'm starting to get it, and I really, really, really like it. It's really cool. But the fact that the Avowed team, first-party Game Pass team, says, we can't do that anymore. We had to change our opening, not to get you right into the action, get you right into what's engaging about our game, or at least somewhat part of what's engaging about our game. Well, I'd like to say, to respond to this guy who says that adults don't have the time, and he's right, or she's right, it wouldn't bother me if these games actually started to also adjust the runtime. The only reason your games have had to be 60 hours, 70 hours in the past, not all games, I'll grant you, but the vast majority, certainly narrative single-player games, if we're not talking RPGs where you have to grind, is because they have to justify the $60 price point, $70 price point, maybe with Grand Theft Auto $100 price point. And so they just pack on all kinds of shit in there that really the game doesn't need. Most games don't need to be that long. And so it would be nice if Game Pass, if it's successful enough, also starts to train them. Hey, people loved Avowed. A lot of people played it. A lot of people played for about 15 hours, and then they moved on. And suddenly, maybe the developers start to go, you know what? Not all games, don't come at me. I'm not saying that. But a lot of these single-player narrative games, first playthrough, 12 to 15 hours. That's where it goes back to, because we already got your money for the month. Might as well try some other games. South of Midnight, I would love that. Now, David Gaynor is saying South of Midnight, $40. Are you saying, are you saying it's $40? That's excellent. That's excellent. And so you're assuming it's likely shorter because of that. Great. And Expedition 33 Dev said 30 hours. So excellent, man. Excellent. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I would love to see this happening. It would be excellent. But we will see. $50 for 5 days early. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll do that because I'll stream it. But Mr. H. Lawrence says, I'm excited to play Xbox games on my Switch and PS5. I'm 53 years old, me too. And I can say, hand on heart, I've never played an Xbox game. There's some great ones out there. They're certainly not yet. Now, what I saw yesterday, because they've acquired, I mean, if you want to call Call of Duty Black Ops 6 an Xbox game, sure, it is legally, technically, then I would absolutely agree with you. Or I would say that's a great Xbox game. Or certainly Forza Horizon. For some of us, not all, but if you're 53, you may love Starfield. Starfield, I think, hits harder for kids who are kids in our generation, like Gen Xers, because of its romanticism of space and exploration and us coming up with Star Trek and Star Wars and all that. Whereas today's younger adults play it and go, that part doesn't grab them. And what they're left with at a pure base game probably not the world's best game. I would agree. Okay. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. Kevin says, Jaffe, are you asking this as a publisher question? I'm asking this as a first-party question, whether it's publisher or developer of first-party games. Nine Live says, Jaffe, do you see Xbox doing more acquisitions like with Lena Khan out? Oh, the FTC? She was the head of the FTC. Look, I mean, I have no, I mean, okay, here's my answer. If there's a lot of trapezes or hoops you have to jump through to get to the answer of yes. But the answer, in my opinion, totally uneducated opinion on this, I'm not a mergers acquisition guy, but my guess would be that if it turns out that yesterday's showcase was reflective of their roadmap for the next couple of years that they've got going, and it starts to pay dividends, then yes, because the only reason they got where they are yesterday is because of really, I mean, maybe we can give it up to external management like the Matt Booties and Phil Spencers and all that. Regardless, though, we're grateful because of Bethesda bringing us Indiana Jones through Machine Games, Doom through id, the Ninja Gaiden team in Platinum with the Ninja Gaiden Black 2 yesterday, and obviously Ninja Gaiden 4. And then Compulsion, obviously they've acquired them as well. So none of these are sort of homegrown from internal studios, if they even have internal studios anymore. I guess they would call those internal studios. But okay, Jonathan says, Jaffe, us modern adults can't relate to the future being better than now and not a dystopia. Oh, I know, Jonathan. I get it. He's talking about Starfield. I absolutely get it. When I was a kid in the 70s, the sky was, metaphorically, literally the limit. It was like, we're going to space. We're going to be on Mars. We're going to have, spaceships like in Star Wars and Star Trek. We're going to have warp drive. People were excited. People got up early to watch the space shuttle launch, and then it all just kind of went to shit. And you're absolutely right. Now, if you're a kid, you probably come up and like the kids of my 80s generation, some of us, believed in the future of Star Trek and maybe to some degree Star Wars, although it was negative because it's war. A lot of kids, or not a lot, but the moody, edgy kids believed the world was going to be Blade Runner. And it's starting to look like they're right. So maybe your generation will respond more, or a younger generation will respond more to the Blade Runner Starfield of the future. We'll see. Thank you, by the way, so much. To good Sir Woogerman dropping the first super chat of the day. I appreciate it. He says, the wording at the beginning of Xbox's Dev Direct says it all. Play on Xbox PC or anywhere. There's an Xbox app. Cross-save progress, that's plan going forward. Yeah, no, I get it. But although, to be fair, I don't think there's going to be an Xbox app, at least at the moment, on PlayStation 5, right? So all those games you can play, but there's no Xbox app on, there's no Game Pass on PS5. But yeah, no, I get that they want to be everywhere. And I get that if they were to say, everybody's had this conversation on the internet up and down ad nauseum. There's nothing to add. It's just, it's weird that they haven't gone third party, and it's weird they're still talking about making hardware when they're putting their shit everywhere. And the only thing most rational people can think of as to why they're doing it is if they're going to come out with a full frontal assault and say, hey, marketing, bang the Game Pass drum so PlayStation looks horrible in comparison in terms of the lack of value of owning that system versus owning our system and getting Game Pass on it. But no, I don't understand it. Who knows? Who cares at this point? I'm just happy we have a lot of great games to play. So, but I appreciate the super chat and thank you, my pal. Okay. Yeah, Kevin says we've been saying market Game Pass better for years. They don't change. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Struggle Boxing says full frontal assault would make for a great game title. Dude, let me just tell you something. How many name changes did we go through with Twisted Metal? We started with, I think it was originally Battle Cars, and then it was Urban Assault, and then it was something else before. I wanted it to be Cars and Rockets. I did. Shut up. And then eventually Andy Sells, one of our executives, landed. He says, what do you think of Twisted Metal? And I actually said, I don't know what that means. And he says, it's kind of like what reporters say. It's like, it's a burning hunk of Twisted Metal. I'm like, I've never heard that. But at this point, we're out of time and people seem to like it. So we went with Twisted Metal. Stanley Buffington says, is this your 5th stream titled How to Fix PlayStation, Bro? LOL. First off, we're not bros, Stanley, because your last name is Buffington and you sound like a snob. Second, I don't know, but I have people talking about it. I have people in the chat, in the phone call room who clearly want to talk, which will be later on in the show, not right now. So I see you. I'll bring you on. Tony, goddammit, Tech Protect, please let me know when we're getting to the 30-minute mark before we end, and I'll bring all these guys on. But yeah, I mean, it's a relevant topic, man. It's a, if you love games and you love the industry and you love, the inner workings of it, like I do, it's fascinating. You know, I'm sorry that you don't see it. Let me try to educate you, Buffington. It's a fascinating topic because it's not just that you've got the market leader, the decisive market leader, who clearly is kind of lost in the woods. Not because they're not making tons of money. Hang on. Not because they're not making tons of money. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And in the lead, but because, like I said earlier, everything's changing. The audience is changing for their kind of games. The budgets are changing for what people will accept. And they've got this competitor, Xbox, that is doing incredibly well in so many ways and still shitting the bed in so many ways. And so, you know, it's really kind of fascinating if you love games, my pal, if you love games. But if you don't, that's fine. No worry. Okay. Oh, there's Dave Goodrich. What's up, buddy? Okay. Yeah, Nine Live says people really don't want you to criticize PlayStation. That's nuts. I can't anymore with these people. I don't care. Shut up, Tech Protect, you weirdo. I'm not even going to read that. Okay, listen, I wanted, before we get into the news, and I do have some interesting stuff to show you today, I do want to alert you to one of the very best written games and one of the most fun games, if you like this genre, is on sale right now on Steam for $10. This studio put out another great game last year, and then they shut down, which was maybe part of it's because the title was, I still can't even remember, it's like Shadow Rogue Pirate. Point is, Desperados is on sale right now for $10. It is delightfully written. It is so much fun. If you like games like Commandos or Jagged Alliance, it's not a real-time strategy game. You control like a band of like 5 or 6 people, and they all have different pros and cons and weird skills and stuff. It is very stealth heavy, but not like, I usually don't like stealth, but it is just, it's so, and I bet there's probably a demo, but it's $10. You absolutely will. I mean, you might be disappointed if you don't like those kind of games. If you like those kind of games, delightful, man. It's so good. So this is Desperados 3. It's on sale right now for $10. I don't know how much longer it's going to be on sale. So if you've considered it, go pick it up. How do I feel about the AC Shadows previews? I feel, oh, shut up, King James. There's nothing DEI about this game. In fact, the screenshot you're looking at right now is a woman, the main female protagonist in the game, and all the characters have like 4 or 3 kind of powers or unique abilities. One of hers is she will romance the fellas, and they'll be like, she was like, I don't know what she says, but it's the gist of, come on over here and, you know, show me your dick. Shut up, idiot. I don't know how women in the Old West talked. Ask your mom. I guess she's old. And then she'll lead them over to a corner and then, you know, she'll kill them. Is that DEI? Kind of, sort of? I don't fucking know. Point is, it's delightful. It's delightful. Okay, listen, I want to show you this. I was on this show yesterday, speaking of annoying people, but I want to try to be kind about this. And I enjoyed it, by the way. I was on this WIC TV interview. King David was kind enough from the Iron Lords that says, hey, man, you know, will you come on and talk with me about this? Because it's going to be about diversity. in video games. And he's, very experienced journalist, comfortable on camera, comfortable articulating his points, and he's a black dude. And I was like, you know what? The last thing I want to do is be a white guy with another white guy talking about diversity in games. So I wanted to reach out to somebody that was not a white guy and say, let's make sure you can, have, the side represented on the show as well. And that was great. And the other side had a white guy and a person of color as well. So it was fair, and I liked this Wick guy, and I actually liked all the guys in the sense that, some of them were annoying, but they probably thought I was annoying. I have nothing against any of them. We're all, whatever. But I want to show you this clip that is going around, not going around, 45 people have liked it. It's not like it's a viral thing, but it's a clip somebody who was trying to lambast me put up. But it is so indicative of the reason it is that I get so frustrated. And I think a lot of gamers get pissed at me because I'm outspoken and they say, Jaffe, you're rude, or, because I can only handle so much bullshit. And I just don't have the grace to put up with. It's not that everybody has to have the same experience or information I have, or King has, or anyone has. But it would be like me coming to you, and you had worked security at music concerts for 20 years, and I came and sat with you on a podcast, and I was telling you all this stuff about your industry, your job, your experience, and it was based on nothing but hearsay, and it was based on nothing but just anecdotal evidence when none of it is really backed up by facts, okay? This is a perfect reflection of that. It's a 40-second clip. I'm going to play it, and we'll talk about it if you want to. Here we go.
You really do miss the wood for the trees,
Let
don't
cat
you?
go, let cat go, let cat go, let cat go, cat.
So that's this guy.
So with the argument, you have companies that are incentivized to not hire people that have talent and have merit. Then these people have no experience making games. What's the easiest thing to do? Oh, let's take an existing IP, let's just remake it, reboot it, etc., and then we put it out there. That is the reason why they do this. This is the reason why, for example, Saints Row.
I can't listen. I'm going to mute myself. You know nothing. You know nothing. King covers the business.
He said to the gay person of color.
He knows, I don't care if you're black, white, or green. It doesn't. Right. So this guy over here is talking about. Oh, you can't hear it. It's too quiet. Okay, let me turn up the volume. Sorry. Whatever. Let me do it again. Let me figure out why it's so low. Hang on. Try this. Try this, you sons of bitches. Yeah. Is this better?
Cat go, let cat go, let cat go, cat.
So with the argument, you have companies that are incentivized to not hire people that have talent and have merit. Then these people have no experience making games. What's the easiest thing to do? Oh, let's take an existing IP, let's just remake it, reboot it, etc., and then we put it out there. That is the reason why they do this. This is the reason why, for example, Saints Row.
I can't listen. I'm going to mute myself. You know nothing. You know nothing. King covers the business.
He said to the gay person of color.
He knows. I don't care if you're black, white, or green. Okay, I hope you could you hear that? Okay. So my favorite part, well, there's a lot of favorite parts, but so let's just take the thing that really riled me up. And you can see King shaking his head, then I start shaking my head. I'm just like, guys. So what he is saying is the reason that we are getting bad games is that because of DEI, people are hired who have no experience over people who have experience, not just like maybe somewhere on the team, like a junior programmer or assistant or associate or mid-level producer reporting to a senior producer, but basically the team, according to this guy, is mostly made up of DEI hires who have no experience because the companies would rather do that, and which is simply not true. There's no evidence to back that up. He has no evidence. I've never seen it. And you tell me, do you honestly think that these games, whatever you think of Suicide Squad, whatever you think of any of these fucking games that you think have DEI in them, do you think games as complicated as these games could ship at any, forget being on time, but just ship it all with people who have never made a fucking video game? But let's go beyond that. And then he goes, and that's the reason you get the, I mean, think about this, is ridiculous. And I'm supposed to sit here and listen to this and act like he deserves a seat at the table of grown-ups having a real conversation about this. And then he goes on to say, the reason we're getting a lot of remasters and remakes is because, well, that's the easiest thing for people to make who don't have any experience. And I'm like, dude, you know, and like I said, you know nothing. And then this guy on the bottom left, and I got no issue. I mean, they go with God. There's nothing personal wrong with any of these guys. They're great humans. I had no issues. But the guy on the left, this guy named Jack, then is like, oh, he knows nothing. He's a black person of color. And he's gay. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? It's like, I'm not coming at this guy. And I mean, you can tell it pisses me off. And I'm sorry to start your day. It's my day. It's the morning here in San Diego. I'm sorry to start your day with such vitriol. But my God, it's just, I'm like, and that's the thing, right? It's like, it's the reason more and more you start to wonder, why are any developers or ex-developers or anybody that has any evidence on social media? Because everybody thinks they're experts. And so it would be like me coming to you, going back to the security question. If you were worked security or managed the security apparatus at arenas for big rock concerts and shit, and I went to a lot of rock concerts, although these guys both don't really play lots of video games anyway, they said. Some of, Jack plays a lot of tabletop and shit, but which is great. But anyway, so I came to your house for dinner, and I'm telling you the way your job is and how it should be and all this. And you're like, okay, if you're asking me, Jaffe, to frame it like, hey, security expert, I'm curious about this. I'm hearing about this and this, that, and the other. Is that true? That's one thing. But to act like you have earned a seat at the table and you have nothing but bullshit anecdotal evidence, I'm sorry. I won't put up with it. And I can't. But the bigger point, though, I'm not just sharing my own personal story. I'm saying that the internet is rife with this. Twitter is 4chan now. That's what this is. And I'm sorry, but you got to call people out with this shit. You don't have to, but it's fun. Anyway. Okay. I think it is up to devs to decide what they want to do. It shouldn't be illegal per se. Everyone reaps what they sow. It's not illegal, I don't think. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because it was on my mind. You can find this on Wick TV. You can find it on our channel. It was a 4-hour debate. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I was so grateful that King showed up. Wonderful to hear his take. He's much more measured than I am. He's much more calm in the face. And I don't know, maybe he was like calm to begin with, but for me, this pissed me off. For him, he was just like, whatever, man. But he was great, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of them, and I appreciate Wick for having me. Okay. I want to show you something so cool, man. I want to show you something so fucking cool. Look at this. I got nothing. I don't know. I haven't played it. I just think it's cool. It's a video game where you fucking, I don't even know if it might be more of a training thing, where you basically
and roll. Nice. Go out.
I mean, what? How cool. If you're listening and not watching, she's on these skis on what looks like a treadmill, and she's watching 3 giant video screens, video game of skiing downhill first person. And it's just a motion controlled thing. So her body motion, but I've just never seen this kind of motion controller before. This might be an actual training center if she's actually a skier. I don't fucking know. Yeah, Goodrich says, there goes my back. I know, but it's cool, man. It's cool. Look, man, I've been playing a lot of Lonely Mountain downhill or I don't know. I always have a hard time with this great fucking game. So I'm kind of in a skiing mode. Zeke says, looks fun, or like a quick trip to the ER. Crow says, why not use VR? Because the issue here isn't about immersing yourself. The issue is probably about actual training. VR is not going to give you that. Okay. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Chi says, Jaffe, been playing a lot of Twist Metal Black recently, and goddamn, did you guys have a vision? Hey, Goodrich worked on that too, by the way, in the chat. Very clearly a passion project from the main menu. The atmosphere is so thick for a car combat game. I know, I always say that Twist Metal Black is the best iteration of the world of Twisted Metal. I don't think it's the best gameplay, but it's the best world building and lore building for that franchise, 100%. But thank you for playing it, and thank you, man. Okay. I only wanted to bring this up because it's how far along is Mass Effect 5? So obviously you guys know that the team that made it, the BioWare team that made Veilguard, a lot of them have moved on to other projects, and the ones that can have moved on to the new Mass Effect. And I got to be honest, I have never, ever played a Mass Effect game in my goddamn life. And I'll tell you something else. I know people say, Jeff, you got to get on that. I'd love to, man. There's just too much to fucking play. There's too much to fucking play. And so I probably never will. I'll probably play 5. Maybe what they can do is, open 5 with like a wonderful 30-minute cutscene, or not cutscene, playable cutscene, where you can re-experience the narrative up until then. I wanted to open God of War 3 when I was designing it for like a week that way, which is I was going to have God of War 1 and 2 in a truncated playable 10-minute version. So it was just, you played the greatest hits again, but they were redone and freshened up and very dramatic. And then you come into the opening of 3 and it's just seamless. So I think that would be great. But anyway, the point of this article on GameSpot is that an ex-developer at BioWare said, look, man, when you've got a big game like this, we're not in full production on this, or he isn't there anymore, but he's saying the team's probably not in full production because there is no infrastructure, he says, that's able to absorb all of those people from Veilguard. I bring this up because it reminds me of when I was working on Drawn to Death, and I want to tell you, okay, so I'm working on Drawn to Death, and I had carte blanche. I could do no wrong. Sony was supportive, and I was so appreciative of that, and I was so grateful for that. And then Drawn to Death comes out, we're all excited, and it bombs. And we get this other deal with Sony. And boy, I've never had producers rush in so fast after that failure to go, okay, Jaffe, now we're going to have a lot more say. We're going to have more cooks in the kitchen, and we're going to be the main cooks. I mean, it's your game, but And, I, of course, didn't like it, but I understood we had made a failure and they were going to fund our next game. And sure, we'll play the game. That's the game we're playing. We'll play the game. And that game never shipped. So whatever. But the point is, though, can you imagine right now being an executive overseeing Mass Effect with this team? Like, I wonder how much Monday morning quarterbacking is going on there, because I like Dragon Age Veilguard a lot. It's one of my top 5 games of last year. But clearly it didn't perform well. It was expected by this point to have 3 million impressions, whatever that means. Maybe that includes EA Play. So you don't buy it, you rent it. And it's only at 1.5. Okay. Whatever you think of the game, sales wise or money wise or performance wise, it's not doing that well. And so I wonder now, what lessons are these guys going to learn? Are they going to come in and go, okay, we're having a lot more oversight. It can't just be the artistic vision that you guys want. It may be like what's happening at Disney. It may be like with Disney going, look, man, we did the thing where we gave you guys tons of freedom to do whatever the fuck you wanted when it came to not caring as much about the audience as you did about your vision. And we still want that, but you're going to have to sort of find a balance. So I hope they put a good executive on this. PK says you can move on from Veilguard. It's been 3 months. I'm not talking about Veilguard, PK. I'm talking about the reason Veilguard got into the shit it got into. Because there was clearly no oversight from someone who was writing the checks. Or if there was oversight, it was poor oversight. And so I'm more curious about, what have they learned from that? As much as I loved Veilguard and appreciated Veilguard, I'm wondering, like, what does a day at BioWare look like now when the team is sitting down going, let's write this story. Let's plan out the systems, right? Forget how woke or not woke you think Dragon Age was. Just the fact that tonally, both visually and sort of the sort of more young adult feel, what a shift from Inquisition. I wonder, I hope nobody who's making Mass Effect, because I think Mass Effect also has a great kind of sensibility of its art style and its aliens and its tone. I hope that if somebody's in there going, hey, I want to make this more of a kind of like a rom-com, I don't fucking know, that there's an executive that steps in and says, you can't do that. Mass Effect's already a thing, man. You can't fuck with that. So anyway, Cheese says, I think Hope Astrobot is going to make Sony branch out into more risky stuff. It didn't sell that well either. It didn't sell that well either, though. So I don't know. It didn't cost as much. So, Jaffe, what should WWE games do to make them better and successful? The last couple of WWE games have been really successful. There was one, I want to say it was 22 or 21. One came out, it was a fucking buggy mess. And then they pulled it, and I think they may have had a skip year. And then they came back 2 years ago with a great version, and I hear the version most recently was really good. Was WWE Battlegrounds good, which is kind of the arcadey. It was a wrestling game. I thought it was good, but it was, it was super shallow. There weren't tons of people playing it, but I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you something else, man. So I'm playing WWE Battlegrounds, and this is you guys have your Attitude Era. I have my Asuka, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch era, right? That's when I really was watching a lot of it. I'm playing Battlegrounds on my stream, and I say something about it, and Asuka, a wrestler, if you don't know, retweets it or likes it or something. I was such a fanboy. I was so excited that she literally had seen my tweet and engaged with it. It was nuts. I'm like, what? I was like 49 years old, and I was like, hey, the Riddler. Still, I like the wrestling. It's fun stuff. Haven't been watching it since it came on Netflix, but also, I want to tell you about this game. I've already talked about Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. It's not that I want to talk about the game like, you know what it is, whatever. If you don't, it's from the Lonely Mountains Downhill Biking Game Group. This is even better. But I want to talk about why the multiplayer is so interesting and fresh and wonderful. Because... yes, you can do single player and you can try to increase your times and find new routes. And it's so addictive. You never even have to go online and you'll be obsessed with this game. But what's great about the multiplayer at a design level, and there's only one other game I've seen do this. And I talked about this briefly yesterday on, I think when I was streaming videos. There was a game that was in early access on Xbox and on PC called something like Super Soccer, not the thing that used to be Rocket League, but it was something like that, like Super Turbo Soccer or something. And all it was golf with cars, and everybody had their own ball, and you were trying to get it into the hole before everybody else, and it was a race as well. And what was so compelling about that, and this game nails that as well, is that unlike most online racing games where you're really focused on being to the first, and if you aren't, after a while, you're like this, unless you're hardcore, you give up because there's always usually somebody better than you. Shut up, Jaffe. There's usually somebody better than you, and you kind of get, unless you really want to invest the time, you get kind of dissuaded. What's great about this game is in the multiplayer, you still have all of your own personal achievement goals, right? Learning the mountain, getting faster, doing the tricks. And so winning can be what you're focused on. And it's a lot of fun to be racing other people. But just like that game on Xbox, the Turbo Golf, whatever, rocket thing, I find this multiplayer racing to be just as addictive as the single player racing or riding down the hill. And I never say that about racing games. Like Mario Kart to me is a much better single player game or couch co-op game than an online game. This game is just as good online as it is single player, and I think that's because of that design choice to say, let's give you your own set of little achievements and goals and successes outside of getting first, second, or third place. So it's I can't say enough great things about this game. It's absolutely excellent. And it's on Game Pass. So, enjoy that shit, man. Get it. I mean, you can buy it too if you want, but it's so good. It's so fucking good. Marcus Orr says, I love the first one these guys did, Mountain, the downhill trial on bike. It was great. This one's better. This one is absolutely better. Zeke says it's like old school arcade racers. Rush were finding fun. The fun was finding alternate pathways. I remember those. That was great. You're right. Okay. Hello, Batrol. He says, I just finished Doom Eternal and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 last year. They became two of my favorites. It was much more awesome to see yesterday the new announcement. Oh my God. Yes. And I downloaded it. I haven't tried Black yet. Black 2. I've been playing other games. I'm playing still the Eternal Strands demo. Yeah, I loved SSX. Cheese. Eternal Strands. And I'm playing this new game that I might talk about today, but I will probably be streaming later this afternoon after the interview, called Gravelord, which is like a boomer shooter, but it's got some twists and turns. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. Okay. Let us move on, my delightful delinquent. Silent Hill F has been raided in South Korea. Now, was I a fan of Silent Hill 2 remake? You goddamn right. And my understanding is that Silent Hill F, this is the one being made. Is this the Japanese one where the Silent Hill kind of depression disease comes to a small Japanese town? Let's take a look at, I haven't seen this trailer in ages. It's an old trailer from last year, but I'd like to see it again if you don't mind, because it's been a while, but I'm excited that it's been rated now, because if it's rated, it means it's finished. And if it's finished, it means short of anything weird happening, it's coming out soon. Let's check it out. Tony, I'm in Discord if you need to reach me now. I can see your comments. That's super cool. That's super cool. Oh, she's crying though. She doesn't like it. She's beautiful, but she doesn't like the... Oh my God! Come on, I need this! Try refreshing the stream, see if that helps. Okay, so it might have been... Okay, so refresh fixes it. I'm going to run that packet loss test while we're streaming and see if something's happening on our end. But anyway, yeah, if you get any stuttering, fellas, refresh for now. I don't know what the fuck's happening with that. We're trying to figure it out, but I apologize. But yeah, Silent Hill F. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. It says it will be a completely new story set in the 1960s featuring a beautiful yet horrifying world, written by Ryushikio 7, famed for Japanese visual novels dealing with murder mysteries, psychological and supernatural horror. So here's the question, Morgan. Morgan knows about this guy. Who is the developer of this game? And do we know anything other than this trailer? This trailer is now going on 2 years old, and that's a hell of a trailer. I've forgotten about it. But is there any gameplay of this fucking thing? Is there any, is there a sense of what the genre of this game is? Or is all we've seen so far that trailer, and now we're kind of like, the next piece of news is, oh, it's going to be coming out because it's been rated, so hopefully we'll get it soon. I personally prefer a new game set in Silent Hill proper, but a completely new take seems interesting, says Goodwin. I Need Something says, it's crazy we are far away from the original storyline with this shit, or with this Silent Hill, it seems. I kind of like that. I like that, though. I like, after playing Silent Hill 1 or 2 remake and finishing it and going, that's kind of cool, that the idea that this, if that is the theory of Silent Hill, and this fog is this sort of, whether it's got consciousness or whatever, that it's this force of nature that sort of drifts in and out of different locations, and anyone that's suffering from serious trauma basically goes to their version of Silent Hill. So for everyone else, nothing's changed, but for you, you're dealing with your shit. I think that's really cool. And I think with that idea, you can take that fog and basically move it all over the fucking place. Set it in Vegas, for God's sake. I mean, that would be really, really fucking cool if they actually kind of moved it around. So the trailer is all we know for now. Morgan says they worked on Capcom Resident Evil live service attempts. Okay, so it's not great, but they have done some work. I wonder, but this is going to be single player, says Jarvie. Good. I think it's cool, man. I'm super excited. But anyway, the point is, it's been rated, and so we'll be hopefully getting some news pretty soon. Let me tell you something else, my delightful friends. I want to show you this. Speaking of Silent Hill F, and just speaking of where we are at with graphics in video games. Now, you have to understand, I mean, when you're my age, you will appreciate this, okay? And you probably already do, but this is the first horror game I ever played, okay? And I'm not fucking with you. This is what it looked like. It was called, rightly so, Haunted House. And this is it. That's you going up and down different floors of the haunted house, okay? That was it. Now, this, what I'm about to show you, what do you mean you don't see anything? Oh, you don't see anything? Here. This is it. Now do you see it? Okay. This is you going up and down floors. And that's a spider, if you can't tell. Okay. That's Haunted House. Could you see that now? Okay. This, what I'm about to show you, is real time. And I checked, and people checked and said, dude, are you sure this is real time? This is from Pasquale Cianti. We each follow each other on Twitter. He's the principal lighting look dev artist at a place called Torn Banner, which I think is like, he used to work at Ninja Theory. and Treyarch and the Initiative. Okay, so he's got the bona fides. I want to show you this. What the fuck am I looking at? This is real time, boys and girls. Coming from Haunted House that I just showed you. Look at this. If you would have told me this was footage from the 90s film, The Blair Witch Project, it's lagging again. Hang on. It seems like whenever I play videos, but let's try again. I'm going to stick with it because I got to show you this footage. It's not my PC, you idiot. My PC is blazing. My internet is blazing. Something's going on. I don't know why the refresh fixes it whenever I show videos, but I assure you, it is no one else here is on the internet. My internet is blazing. I just keep hitting refresh as you need to. Mods, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Tech. Please let people know if they get a lag to hit refresh. I'm going to show you this video. It's a minute. This is insane. And this is real time footage. This looks real, man. I'm sorry, but you have to understand my brain going from what I just showed you, Haunted House from Atari, to this in a lifetime. Don't tell me we're not living in a fucking simulation, because we are. And why are we? Because if you came to somebody in 100 years and said you can step into the fantasy world where you can feel and smell and experience, you would do it. And you would do it, and you would insist upon not knowing you were in a simulation because it would make it more immersive. Although why in the world we would simulate this, I don't know. But, you know, look at that. Look at that. The gameplay still has to be great. I'm not a graphics whore, but in this case, I'm pulling my pantyhose down. I'm a graphics whore. Look at this. I mean, come on. Come on. And then take it to the next level 20 years from now, 10 years from now. Think about the jump. 40 years ago, 45 years ago, you saw Haunted House, and now you see this. Haunted House from Atari, now you see this. 40 years from now, it's this, but it's large language model, real-time, procedurally generated. Procedurally generated. And so it's writing the narrative around you. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's not about the gameplay. This is I'm not trying to sell you on a game. This guy's doing a tech test. I'm not. Yes, it's in game. This is not about, oh my God, this game looks. This probably will never be a game. This has to have. You can't breathe on this wrong, from what I understand, or you may end up crashing it. It's not about that. It's about, this is what we can do right now. This is where we're at right now with all the settings and it just being a perfect storm, basically. That's what's impressive to me. Bookster, thank you. 17 months. He says, honestly, Jaffe, I think Haunted House had the better graphics. You're going to hell, sir, and I think you're a goddamn liar. Okay. Resident Evil 4 Remake looks like this. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Come on, man. I played and finished Resident Evil 4 Remake, and it was excellent. No, it doesn't. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Did I hear GeForce ran out of subs? No, I'm glad I'm one of them. Okay. Let's move forward, though. The guys who made Kinzara, which I actually really liked, other than it got very repetitive when it came to level design, so I didn't finish it, but what I played, I really, really enjoyed. They're teaming up with Pal World, who has just started a new publisher, or a branch of their company that publishes games. Hellblade 2 does not look as good as that. Maybe it's the compression on the video. Go look at this guy's shit. Here, I'll put a link in the chat. No, You couldn't be always wrong. And I'm not being a dick to you. I mean, look, Hellblade 2 is amazing looking for where we're at. But no, it doesn't look as good as this. That's not the point, Plazukas. Plazuka says Dead Space and Resident Evil can replicate this without the need for realistic graphics. I know. A text adventure can replicate. I'm not saying that the game is better because the graphics are great, man. I'm just saying, isn't that amazing that the graphics are great? Isn't it cool that graphics are that great? That's all I'm saying. Hey, short fat otaku, it was good chatting with you, buddy. Absolutely. Night Trap on Sega CDs looks better. Shut up. But listen to this. This is an interesting scenario. It's a horror game about the entertainment business, of which the CEO of that company, who was an actor, I think in Westworld, knows a little something about. It says, we noticed a pattern in the entertainment industry, says the founder and the lead designer, Abu Bakr Salim, describing... he says, we noticed a pattern in the entertainment industry, and Pocket Pair has given us the opportunity to make a horror game about it. We're still looking at other games in the Tales of Kenzara universe. They'll never make one. It wasn't that big of a hit. It doesn't make sense. But the idea of a horror game set in sort of the entertainment business about a pattern, I hope they deal with all the assault shit, you know? He's been outspoken on the subject of racism in the games industry and community, so perhaps that's the focus. Could be, but I also would love to see like the horror of child actors. I mean, that you watch that Nickelodeon documentary about Dan Schneider and all that shit. I would love to see a video game deal with that kind of horrific shit. Or perhaps a PAL published game will pit you against a rotund, mustachioed lawyer. Yeah. No. Do something. Give me some Jordan Peele kind of peeling back the layers of that industry. I'd love to see it. Sounds great to me. Member for 15 months. Thank you, PK. He says, check out gameplay for Body Cam. I've actually played it. Didn't like it very much. It looks good. I don't think it looks as good as what I just showed you, but obviously it's subjective. Your mileage will vary. Okay. Speaking of Pal World, though, I have not gone back to Pal World in a very, very long time, but they just put out a new update, which you can see here, a new roadmap. I want to go back to it. The reason I've been a little hesitant about it is just because I think sometimes you go back and you end up with like your base gets destroyed and stuff. But I went through like 3 or 4 weeks where I was hardcore fucking addicted to this fucking thing. And so I don't know if anybody in the chat's still playing it, but I thought this was really a fun game. And so they're adding a lot more. They're putting co-op crossplay, world transfers. I'm not going to read you the list. You can see it here. Don't you hate that when you're in a PowerPoint presentation? And it's just like, you see the slide and then the person presenting is reading it to you. It's like, bitch, I can read. I trust me. If I can't read, I don't need to be at this meeting. Don't read me what I can read. Jaffe, we should do a new run of Pal World. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it with top tier members. How many people can play at a time? I'll start from scratch because I think my base is probably fucked. Totally fucked. Hello, Diego. Good to have you here live, buddy. Okay. Let's move forward. Oh, okay. I got to adjust the screen. I want to show you something and it's porny. But I got to make sure I don't get... this is amazing. All right, this is... How am I going to do this? Let's see. Because there's nudity below. What is the... Is this shot... Hang on. Let me just make sure I can show you. Okay, so... Am I actually showing the screen? Yes. So if I just block off that part. Okay, hang on. All right. So somebody sent me this. I don't remember who it was. But thank you. I haven't tried it. I don't mean thank you. Thank you. I mean, this is amazing. And again, you know, hate me all you want. I like tech. I'm very sex positive. I like people can do whatever they want as long as it's consensual and they don't hurt anybody. But so whatever. But this is cool, man. This is Sex Like Real is the name of the company. And I'll show it to you. I'm just making sure there's nothing on here that's going to be, And by the way, YouTube robot algorithm, I'm not showing anybody anything. This video's demonetized. You mentioned sex. Yeah, I mentioned sex. I'm not having sex on screen. I'm not talking about here's some porn and let's watch it together. I'm talking about a porn company, YouTube. Is that okay? Can I not even talk about it? Anyway, here's what they're doing. AR porn pass-through videos. If you don't know what this means, get yourself a MetaQuest 3. You put it on. You get the porn, but everything else, all the actors are in your environment. But there's no set. So if you're sitting in your kitchen, you can be at Thanksgiving and you're wearing your MetaQuest and everybody else is sitting around talking about, well, what'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the election? And you got the hottest little redhead filly sitting on the turkey, grinding it like it's a stripper pole. Come on now. I'm just saying that shit's pretty fucking cool. The fact, that's amazing. It's amazing. AR porn pass-through videos. This is why we fought and won World War II to survive this long to get this technology. Come on now. That's what come on now. Sex is art when proper between two adults. Why everybody makes it so negative? Yeah, nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying I think it'd be really, you don't have to be, no, I'm not saying you're butt naked with the metaglass. I'm saying you're at Thanksgiving dinner, but they don't know what you're seeing. They don't know what you're seeing. The future is now, boys, says Sky. The stripper is grinding grandma. Yeah. Okay. I think it's pretty cool. Jaffe, do you go to hell supporting porn? No. Look, our culture, you guys know. I'm not going to sit here and give you a lecture on our stupid culture when it comes to pornography. What do you want from me? People are too uptight. Okay. Hey, I'll take porn sponsors. You're goddamn right. I told Tech Protect the other day, somebody also told me on Discord, said, Jaffe, you should reach out to those companies, that do the sex games. And I had heard of them before, and I don't mean like on Steam. I mean, there's like companies that literally all they do, it's like Pornhub, but it's video games, like X-rated video games. And I'm like, I would fucking, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Somebody said to me today, a buddy of mine, Cody Leach, he runs a great horror YouTube channel. He's been on our show. I've been on his show before. He said a sex doll company reached out and said, hey, can we sponsor your show? We'll pay you to advertise our sex dolls. And I said, what the fuck? I'll do. He's like, what is, he's laughing about it. I'm like, fuck yeah. Hell, I'll just take a fucking, give me a product. I'll put her right here. I'll put her in clothes. That's right. Tech Protect. Tech Protect says, I was at the last Thanksgiving at the Jaffe's house. It's true. He was. He says, it was like this already. Yeah. Nobody was wearing these fucking glasses, motherfucker. But the point though, is I'll take that fucking doll and I'll have her right here as long as she's wearing a t-shirt or something. And I won't review it. No, I'll send it to Alex. Alex is hard up right now. His wife is super pregnant. They ain't having any sex right now. As long as he cleans it before he sends it back or just keeps the lower half for himself, I'm good. And I'll have her sitting right here. I don't know why she's so short, like right here. Anyway, shut up. I think this is cool. You do with it what you will, man. The future is awesome. I'm not going to pretend it's not. Okay, one more thing about sort of tech stuff. No, I'm just going to show you. I don't care. I don't care. I'm so tired of you guys trying to shame me for liking cool shit. This is a guy, I love following his Twitter, Ryan McCoy. He does AI sci-fi stuff. And he put up Runway, which is a AI text to video, Gen 2 from last May, and now he put up from January 7th from this year. Well, I would want the sex doll back, but only after he takes the bottom part off, you know? Look at this, though. Look how... Hang on. This is how far it's come in less than a year, okay? Oh, you can't see it. Hang on. Let me move my head. Hang on. And we'll probably start... If the stream starts lagging, because it seems to do that when I show videos, just hit refresh. But he's been making this kind of sci-fi, steampunky thing. And he's just releasing clips so far. And I'm sorry, but is it perfect? No. But it's getting there. And he didn't need to go and jump through it. Basically, let me explain something to you guys. And let me try to sell you on this, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys... Hang on. I don't want your audio, man. I know a lot of you guys... don't tend to like this shit, and that's fine. But let me explain this. Yes, it's all AI, Mercury. It's all AI. So here's what's great, and nobody bitched about this when it came to writing. Okay, when people were able to start self-publishing, whether it was on Amazon or just even before Amazon, most of it was crap. But that's anything. Okay, most creative work, it's hard, man, and so most things are crap, but sometimes a voice breaks through because they didn't have to jump through hoops put up by gatekeepers. Okay. So, and also we have Anthony in the chat. Towards the end of his career, Anthony played with Prince for many, many years. You know, Prince, and correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but Prince, as I recall, after he left Warner Brothers, was like, fuck it. I'm just going to be selling direct to fans. I have enough of a fan base. I'm making my own shit. I'm publishing my own shit. I'm not going to deal with all their bullshit. And so whatever notes he would ever get from Warner Brothers back in the day, and I can't imagine he ever got many after Purple Rain came out, but he didn't have to do shit for anybody but his own artistic vision. Now, sometimes that's dangerous. When you're a genius like Prince, it's not, because, you know, but when you're George Lucas, it's dangerous to have yes men all around you. But that's not the point. The point is, though, I don't know why you guys don't see the same revolution happening as it relates to storytelling visual. Because can you imagine this guy wanting to get this movie made in Hollywood or at Netflix? How many people would he have to please? How many hoops would he have to jump through? And sometimes that's important. But a lot of times it's somebody has a vision and people don't see it, but they do. So, yeah, Anthony's here. He says, yeah, that's correct. So I don't know how we aren't celebrating this. I know it sucks. There's loss of jobs and stuff, and that I'm not celebrating that. Of course, that's bad. But what, you think capitalism is going to grind to a halt, and just because something is going to take jobs away, the powers that be aren't going to exploit it? Come on, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's a different fight. I'll fight that fight with you, but that's not this fight. Anyway. I think this is cool. Okay. How many people are only mad about this because that's what they're seeing, is safe? The same sort of resistance was met when art could be created digitally. I remember walking around Top Cow Productions when we were doing, I think it was the Spawn game, and they were part of Image. And since they were in Santa Monica, we had the meeting at Top Cow, which was Mark Silvestri's group. And he was one of the first to bring digital coloring. And I walked through the bullpen, and there were like 20 artists sitting around doing comic page coloring on a Wacom tablet or whatever it was at the time. It's been a while. And you're right. The comic fans, I would read Wizard magazine, and they were up in arms about it. And I'm like, man, it's fucking progress, man. You know, if you don't like it, don't buy it, and it won't continue. But no one's going to turn this down. You think if you go, I mean, seriously, you could take this shot if you're a filmmaker and go, okay, give this to the effects team now and just have them touch it up and make it perfect. That's what they could do now, because you still need to do some touching up and it would fit into your fucking movie. Come on, man. Kevin, thank you for the super chat. He says, Jaffe, AI has advanced so much in 5 years. Do you see your rod getting smaller or bigger? And can you touch the tip with your tongue? No, I can't. There's a great line in LA Story when Steve Martin says, I would never want to be a woman because I would just stay home and play with my breast all day. I think if most men could suck their own penis, it would be over. It would be over. Now we're definitely getting demonetized. Whatever. Tony, find some shit to clip so we can make some money off this stream. Thanks, Kevin. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. All right. Okay, let's move forward. We don't have a lot of time left because oh man, I'm going to disappoint you guys. I don't mean to disappoint you guys, but I've had such a nice time chatting with you. I tell you what, I'm going to change the title of this stream. We're not going to get to the Would You Fix PlayStation. We'll get to it either after the interview with Alyssa, or we will get to it I will do a show. I'll do a proper show tomorrow in the early morning or late or early afternoon, because I have to wrap at 12 because I want to prep more for my interview. But let's do that together for a moment, okay? So I will be interviewing at 2:00 on this very channel. Where did it go? Alyssa Mercante. And I don't really know her. I've never met her before. But I know of her and, you know, I have thoughts, good and not all good. I didn't love all of her stuff at Kotaku, but who does? And so, Jonathan says, Jaffe, it's cute that you don't think the super chat and answer isn't what's getting clipped. Oh, clip it all you want. I'm just saying it's going to demonetize the stream as a whole. So anyway, though, I would love to know, since you guys seem to know, or some of you guys seem to know, more about her than not, and you can call in, but are there any specific questions that you think are important that I get to when she's on the show today? Because we don't have all the time in the world, but we have a good time for a nice chat. And so let me know. But if you're like, I don't know who that is, then tune in, you'll find out. But I mean, I'm going to ask her about her time at Kotaku. I'm not saying tomorrow will be better. Today is great. I'd like to think you enjoyed, Anthony, our conversation. I loved our chat this morning. I thought it was great. I'm just saying that because I was so engaged with it, and because I do have as the biz folks like to say, a hard stop at noon, I can't get to the main topic. So I apologize about that, but I will get to it today or tomorrow. But Ludo says, Jaffe, thank you for the super chat, buddy. A porn company as a sponsor would shock the hell out of people in a good way in terms of advertisement and exhibition. I would be more than happy to have, and I don't mean that like in a funny way. I got no issues with pornography as long as it doesn't violate the terms of service of the service of which I'm streaming on. Send it. Let me know if send me a company that Tech Protect can go after, or if you have a company or know someone, have them reach out to me on Twitter. We're looking for sponsors, man. I've arrived at the conclusion. Our show, which I love, and I love our community, most of you, some of you are assholes. I'm not telling you, wink. We're never going to be the Asmongold's of the world. We're a scrappy band of rebel. I don't know what we are. I don't know. The point is, we're trying to monetize in a variety of ways. One of those is sponsors now. And so if you got any thoughts or ideas, we'd love to hear them. Yes, David, I'll have a hard on at noon, you son of a bitch. Jaffe, can you please not let the guys from yesterday call in? They will waste time. No. We're the Skid Row of YouTube. I'll take that. Can I answer Sky, please? I don't know. What's his question? I don't see. Contrary to some people's beliefs, I don't see every question in the chat. I see them, but I don't read them all and make choices. Like, I don't even know what the fuck Sky said. So if you want him to repost it or you tell me what it was. Jonathan says, if I had a sex toy company, I'd sponsor you, Jaffe. Thanks, buddy. But no, these guys calling in yesterday, look, anybody can call in, like I said, as long as they are kind, and as long as they can have dissenting opinions, they can have issues with Alyssa or me, totally fine. They don't have to, kiss anybody's butt. They can say, dude, when you were the editor at Kotaku, I thought it was rubbish. That's totally acceptable. What you can't do, as you know, is call in and do hate speech and shit like that. And be mean to people. That we're not doing that. We never do that. That's not a new thing, but I'm just reiterating. You guys know that. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you, though. If you have any questions you want me to ask Alyssa, tune into the show or hit me up on Discord or Twitter, and I'm happy to get them in. In the meantime, I just want to give you guys some updates on some games. I'll be playing these later this weekend, maybe even tonight, but obviously Ninja Gaiden Black 2, that's the hotness for the weekend. Eternal Strands comes out next week. That demo is out now. If you can get past the first 30 minutes of kind of talky talk and kind of weird controls, it's quite good. I recommend it. That's gotten a great review from Edge Magazine. That's out to play this weekend. Next week, Sniper 5 Resistance is out, and apparently it's the same as the last one, basically, but it's more of what you love if you love Sniper 5, and I love Sniper 5, so that will be coming out next week. It will be day one on Game Pass. No, the interview is coming up at 2 o'clock, but I need 2 hours to prep it, basically. I've already done prep for the interview, but I got to put everything together. That will be... I'm never in Jojo D's room. If you want to talk to me when I'm on Discord, I'm in the Diet Soda Soldier room. I can't give all of this away for free, Anthony. Come on, man. But yeah, become a member, for God's sakes, people. We do members-only streams all the time, or we do member chats all the time. We're doing gaming this weekend, probably playing some multiplayer. That's going to be members only. You can watch it, but if you want to play, you got to be a member. It's $4.99. It's the best $4.99 you'll ever spend. I don't know if that's true, but it's a good deal. Okay. And we are doing a lunch with Jaffe next week, so come on now. All right. By prep, do you mean jack off and eat pizza? Yeah, that's exactly how Barbara Walters, you don't even know, I'm so old. I'm so old. Here, for you kids. That's how Joe Rogan prepares for his interviews. It's funnier when it's Barbara Walters, though. I'm sorry, but it just is. Hey, there he is. Jonathan Boucher has joined the Diet Soda Soldier. Sir, you get a song. You get a song and a soundbite. How about that, pal? How about that? Who else is going to give you that? No one. Here's a soundbite, goes right out to you, buddy. Here you go. Here you go.
What a forward young man you are.
That's my new favorite. That is Anne Hathaway during an interview, and it's wonderful. Now, here's your song, Jonathan. Jonathan, you son of a bitch, walking down the road, tripped on a brick, fell into a stick. His penis became a chode. He said, hey, man, what's going on with my cock? And a lady walked up and said, you dumb bitch, it's 12 o'clock. Jaffe's got a prep for the show interview, and your dick now looks like a toy for a dog that he chews. You're fucked. Yeah, welcome, Jonathan, to the Diet Soda Soldiers. I'm a misogynist? Why is that a misogynistic song? There's nothing about that. Yeah, Kevin, she was hot in that interview. Talking about Anne Hathaway, you goddamn right. Yeah, I bet you're sad, even more sad now, Anthony, that Prince died. You could have basically ripped off those lyrics and told him you wrote them. That would have been his next big hit. You goddamn right. All right, boys and ladies, or should I say, if I'm actually being respectful of the demographics. All right, boys and lady. Thank you, fellas and Filettis, for watching the show, hanging out with me. We are back at 2 o'clock with a proper, really interesting interview coming up with Alyssa Mercante, tune in. You can call in. She'll take your calls. I'll go live about 1:55, so everybody can roll in. I'm looking forward to it. And in the meantime, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend if I don't see you at 2, or if I don't see you on the stream later in the weekend. Be well, be safe. I will get to the PlayStation topic. I promise I will, because I think it's fascinating. But, it's going to take a little time, and we had a nice foreplay. Sometimes that's all you get. Sometimes a lot of time you got. Be well, be safe. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Tony. Tech Protect. See you soon.